Hey, what's up guys, Cliff here once again. Welcome back to Overwatch. Without much notice at all, Blizzard has dropped Competitive Season 2 on us, together with a lot of changes to the hero roster. In case you were not keeping up with the PTR as it was going, or you are curious as to what actually made it into the live game, this is exactly what we're going to talk about here today. The new patch 1.3 has hit us on September 1st or September 2nd, middle of the goddamn night when you're in Europe. The biggest highlight is obviously the reopening of ranked play with Season 2. There are some huge changes, the biggest one being the change of the ranks themselves. Instead of a 1 to 100 scale, we got divisions this time around. After your 10 placement matches, you will be placed on either Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Master or Grandmaster, of which only the latest two suffer from skill decay, a steady loss of rank if you do not play actively. The entire scale of the divisions lays on a 1 to 5,000 scale, whereas the difference between each division contains 500 ranks, other than Bronze including 1500 and Grandmaster including 1000. It is worth noting that while your numerical rank on the scale can fluctuate a lot, you cannot fall out of your division unless you are in the top tier. There's also been a huge overhaul to a bunch of maps to complement the removal of sudden death. To avoid ties occurring as often as sudden deaths have before, maps that previously used a point system now also use a time bank system. All this contributes to ties being a pretty rare occasion. There's also been some changes to competitive points. They essentially multiplied everything by 10, meaning the points you had from Season 1 got 10-folded, but so did the prices for gold weapons. After winning a competitive match, you will now receive 10 points instead of 1 and 5 for a draw. Something that most of us don't really have to concern ourselves with, but you have to win at least 50 competitive matches to be eligible for a spot in the top 500. Now let's move on to the hero changes, starting with general changes. Ultimates that consume the ultimate meter when activated will now drain the meter more quickly with 0.25 seconds instead of 1 second. Reverted a change that reduced the size of hero projectiles, most hero abilities will no longer interrupt quick melee attacks, and ultimate abilities will now interrupt quick melee attacks. There's a developer comment going along with those changes. Altering the size of projectiles in flight had too many unintended side effects to keep in the game, at least in its current form. We'll continue watching this and make additional changes if necessary. We're also making quick melee more consistent when interacting with enemy abilities. Now onto the hero specific changes. D.Va's defense matrix will begin regenerating following a 1 second delay from the previous 0.5 seconds. The developer states defense matrix was too efficient when tapped repeatedly instead of being held. Now the recovery delay matches the ability cooldown. Moving on to Hanzo, he now experiences a 30% decrease in speed while aiming, down from the previous 40%. The maximum projectile speed has been increased by 30% and the arrow size has been reduced by 33%. Do keep in mind that this hitbox reduction is obviously applied after reverting the hitbox changes. That means that his hitbox went back to absolutely enormous and from there was decreased to 33%. Mei has seen a couple buffs to her ultimate, in that it was not only increased from 8 to 10 meters in effective radius, but the projectile now also pierces barriers, meaning that even Reinhardt's and Zaryas can no longer mess up your placement. McCree surprisingly this time around only saw a nerf to his ultimate, and that his ultimate meter drains faster and he no longer gets a 50% refund to ultimate charge when not shooting. Mercy has finally been shown some love in that her healing per second has been increased by 20%, and resurrected allies will now be able to maneuver after 2.25 seconds from the previous 3 seconds. Moving on to the character that everyone seemed to love to hate after the McCree nerf, Genji. Genji has been hit hard with the nerf baton, so let's get into the changes. Double jump no longer resets when wall climbing, Swift Strike no longer deals damage to traps like Widowmaker's Venom Mine or Junkrat's Steel Trap, and it also no longer bypasses traps, while also not interrupting melee attacks anymore. Along with that, a long-awaited nerf to his ultimate reduced its duration from 8 to 6 seconds. The hero that has been picked the most consistently in professional play ever since the launch of the game, Lucio, has seen a 30% decrease to his speed boost. I do not think that this makes him any less viable for the vast majority of us only playing on ladder. How much it will affect actual professional play we are yet to see. Try not to get mad guys, but Roadhog's chain hook has been worked on. If the hook target is not in Roadhog's line of sight when retracting the hook, they will be moved back to the position where they were originally hooked. While this is a good thing for Roadhog, as targets are less likely to end up above or behind him when pulling the hook, it kind of sucks for everyone else because that means we can not only get killed even more reliably, but there's also a even lesser chance for us to get away from players with an unfavorable ping. Soldier 76 has seen some changes to his left click once again. Bullet spread now happens more quickly when unloading a fully automatic pulse fire, but they significantly increase the bullet spread recovery time, meaning tap firing will be more reliable again, increasing its effectiveness over long range. A nerf I think a lot of people were waiting for, Zenyatta's Orb of Discord damage amplifier has been decreased from 50 to 30%, meaning that his team won't be able to melt discorded targets quite as effectively anymore, but instead his own damage has been increased from 40 to 46, so he can still do it on his own. Besides that, we also got a new map, a couple new Reinhardt skins, and a bunch of new emotes. We also got a myriad of bug fixes and small implementations that aren't really too worth talking about, so if you want to read up on that, you can easily access the patch notes through the Battle.net browser. But this is all you need to know before jumping into Season 2, so I wish you best of luck out there. However, this is me done for the day, so thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.